Alright guys, number one is just your transformations, so you can take a look at your notes for that. Number two here, it's kind of just asking about everything, so you can start with whatever you want first. So the vertex, you're going to do x equals negative b over 2a, so that will be an x value of 1, and then your y value, you're going to plug that in. So that would be 2 minus 4 minus 16. And so that's going to come out to negative 18. So then I know my vertex is 1 comma negative 18. That is correct. But then this vertex form is actually written incorrectly because they put x plus 1 and we need to put x minus 1 there. F I can actually also see is incorrect just because it says max value. So this is an upward facing parabola, so actually the minimum value is negative 18. That is actually the min value, so that's incorrect. Y-intercepts, I can see that this did say negative 16 right there, so that is correct. You can actually see the y-intercept in standard form. It's that c value back there. And then for x-intercepts, I would turn y into 0. I would use the standard form and I would factor it. So we see we can GCF a 2 right away. Give me x squared minus 2x minus 8. And then we factor it some more. So x minus 4 times x plus 2. So x equals 4, x equals negative 2. So then this one's correct, but A is incorrect. All right, next up, number 3 is a piecewise function. I think you should be able to do that. Just plug in the values and then evaluate. Number 4, we're going to kind of apply our transformations here. You can also kind of think of this as vertex form if you want. So I noticed that here we go up 2 and then to the right 4. And so for my quadratic, that's going to be x minus 2 squared. Oh, no, it's not. It's going to be x minus 4 squared. To move it to the right 4, and then we're going to move it up 2 by adding 2. And then for a value here, I see that we go from that first spot down there. And so that's a over 1 down 1. And so that to me means it's negative 1. It hasn't really been stretched, otherwise it would go over 1 down 2, but it has been reflected, so that's going to switch it over. All right, next up here, number 5. So this one, they want us to take this and shift it to the right 1/5 of a unit. So I'd say we should subtract 1/5 inside of the absolute value there, because inside the function is going to move it left or right. And then vertically shrink is a multiplier, so I'm going to multiply it by 0.8. And then shift downward by 2 is just subtract 2 out back. All right, next up here, we want to write a function for our area. So I'm going to label this side x and that side y. And, or actually I'm going to do that the other way around. Not that it really matters, but I'm going to do that y and that x. So I know my area is x times y, but I want to kind of get this all in terms of the same thing. So I'm going to use my substitution equation here, which is going to have to do with the 650 feet of fencing. And so I know here that I have, if I count the fences here, it looks like I have 5 x's, so it'd be 5x, and then 2y. And so I'm going to isolate one of these variables. I'm going to go ahead and isolate y, and then plug it into the other equation. So y equals negative 5 over 2x plus 375. So I get negative 5 over 2x plus 375. And then I'll go ahead and distribute that. So negative 5 over 2 x squared plus 375x. So that's our answer for part A. For part B, you want to maximize this. You want to find the vertex. It does ask for the max area, so you're going to want to actually find that x value and then plug it back in. All right, next up, number 7. So they want domain here. So anytime we have domain, we do the denominator cannot equal 0. And so then you would have to solve that. Make sure you write your answer in interval notation. Since we don't have a greater than or a less than, we don't need test points here. Just find out which x values it excludes. All right, next up, number 8, it's asking for the maximum or minimum value and label as max or min. So this one is, because A is positive, it opens up, and that means that it's a, looking like that, that vertex would be a minimum. So I know it's a min value, and so I'm just going to find that min value. I'm going to do negative b over 2a to find x, and then plug that back in to find y, because it's really the y value. All right, number 9 here, it says find the x-intercepts of this function. So I see that this is not really in standard form, and it's not in vertex form either. It's kind of neither form. So what I would do is I would just put it in standard form. So I'd call this 5x squared minus 8x plus 2. And since we're finding x-intercepts, we're going to set that equal to 0. I would factor out a 2 first, give me 2x squared minus 4x plus 1. And then I would jump into quadratic formula, so we get negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that's 4 plus or minus the square root of 8 all over 2. Oh, I take that back. That's actually over 4. Okay, so we're not allowed to reduce yet because we got to break down this radical. And so we have twin 2's here, they're going to go outside, and then the loner 2 is going to stay inside, so 4 plus or minus 2 rad 2 all over 4. And then we'll just reduce that by 2, and so we get 2 plus or minus rad 2 all over 2. All right, next up, domain on this one. When you have a radical in the denominator, the inside is always greater than 0. If the radical is in the numerator or there is no denominator, then it's greater than or equal to, but the denominator cannot equal 0, so that's why it's got to be like that. So I'll let you guys solve that one and put your answer in interval notation. All right, next up we're going to describe the transformations from this graph to that graph. And so I see this one is actually left 2 already, and then it moves left 3, and so my actual answer here is going to be left 1. Because from the first one to the second one, it only moves to the left 1 spot. And then we also, because of the 1/2 out front, have a vertical shrink by a factor of 1/2. All right, next up is the function even, odd, or neither. So for this one, we always plug in negative x. If everything changes, then it's odd. If nothing changes, it's even. And if some stuff changes and some stuff doesn't, then it's neither. So negative x to the 3rd power, I can actually move that negative out front because it's an odd power. Switch that one to negative x and keep that as plus 2. So I'm actually going to say that this is neither, because although these two changed, this one did not. And so it's either got to be all or nothing for these. If everything changes, it's odd. If nothing changes, even. If it's sum of each, it's neither. All right, next up, number 13 you can do. It's like number 12, but number 14, they get an equation there and how long until it hits the ground. So the ground is a height of 0. So I would set it equal to 0. Then I would try to factor. I would actually GCF a negative before I started. And then this is a pretty easy factor actually, as t minus 8, t plus 7. And so t equals positive 8 and t equals negative 7. But since t is time, I would just take the positive answer. All right, next question here. We're trying to maximize our revenue. So revenue will always be the number of people that buy something times the cost. So n is the number of customers. And then x is the cost of the item. And so I always kind of want to make my substitution equation over here for the number of people buying it. So I'm going to say n equals, and then we always start with how many we're selling right now. And then it says for every $2 we increase the price, we're going to lose 16 in sales. I always convert that to $1. So if $2 is going to change it by 16, then $1 is going to change it by 8. So I'm going to do this we'll add 8 customers for every dollar we drop it below 12. So I'm going to put parentheses 12 minus x. So this means that if I make it $11, that means it's a $1 drop, which this parentheses turns into 1 times 8 means I get 8 more people. You can actually also do this the kind of other way, which is we lose 8 customers, and then this would be us raising the price, because X would come first if we were raising the price. Either way, though, when I distribute this, it comes out to 256 minus 8X plus 8 times 12 is 96, and then I'll add that to the 256, and so N equals negative 8X plus 352. So R equals X times, and I'm going to go ahead and substitute in here, negative 8X plus 352. So that would mean that R equals negative 8X squared plus 352X. So that's my answer for part A. I'm going to let you guys do 2B and C. All right, next up here, we want to find the formula for G. So I kind of want to notice the difference here. It looks like it did not get shifted, but instead of going over 1, up 1, it went over 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that's just a vertical stretch of 5. And so I would just say y equals 5 times the absolute value of x. All right, this one says find a function. It's a vertex is right here, so I'm going to just write my vertex form, x minus 3 squared plus 1. I left a as a variable because I don't know what it is, so I'm going to grab this other point and plug that in for x and y, and we're going to use that to find a. So then this is 1 squared, so that's 1. So this is going to turn into 1a, since 4 minus 3 is 1 and 1 squared. All right, so now I'll subtract the 1 over, and a equals negative 6. So I'll write it as y equals negative 6 times x minus 3 squared plus 1. If you needed to switch this to standard form, which I actually think the answer is written in standard form, you just want to write this twice and FOIL it. So x minus 3 would be x squared minus 6x plus 9. And then you just distribute that in there. So negative 6x squared plus 36x minus 54 plus 1. And then just combine your like terms there. Negative 6x squared plus 36x minus 53. All right, next up here, let's see, we're selling basketball shorts for $8. Right now we're selling about 100 of them. So again, we're going to maximize revenue here. So that'll be the price times the number of people that buy them. And then for our number of people that buy them, right now we got 100 people. And it says for every $2 increase, we're going to sell 5 fewer. So for $2, it's going to change by 5. So for 1, it's actually going to change by 5 over 2. I know you can't really have 5 over 2 of a person, but it'll all kind of work out at the end here. So here's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to say we gain 5 over 2 people, or 2.5 people, for every $1 we drop it below 8. So we're going to say 8 minus x there. So then I would, and remember, we could do this the other way as well. We could do it as 100 plus, actually, if I did this, I'd be saying I lose 5 over 2 customers, and then I'd switch that around, because I'm raising it above 8. So either way you look at it, though, when we distribute that in there, it's 100 minus 5 over 2x, and then plus, let's see, that'll be 4, and that'll be 20. So 120 minus 5 over 2x, and so then I'm going to substitute that in there. So x times 120 minus 5 over 2x. So then I would just distribute that and then maximize the revenue. So I'll let you guys do that part. All right, number 19, I'm going to let you guys do on your own. Number 20, we got domain here. So we have a radical. The inside of the radical must be greater than or equal to 0. So then you're going to go ahead and factor that. So it'd be x minus 8x plus 4. And then remember, we're not allowed to split this up. We have to go to the number line here when you have a nonlinear inequality, and you got to do your test points. So I'm going to let you guys do those test points on your own, but you do have to do them here. All right, this one asks for the max or min value of the function. I see that this is not really in vertex form. It's not really in any form. So I'm going to switch it to standard form by distributing. And then I'm going to find the vertex. So it's negative b over 2a. So that's 3. And then y equals 4 times 3 squared minus 24 times 3 plus 9. So 4 times 9 here is 36. All right, and then 24 times 3, let's see, 72. All right, so negative 36. Let's just do this on the calculator. 36 minus 72 plus 9. That'll give me a negative 27. So I know that this is an opening up parabola, so that is our min value, is negative 27. All right, number 22, even, odd, or neither. I'm going to plug in a negative x here. So that gives me 6 times negative x to the 4th plus 7. So negative x to the 4th is just x to the 4th. See, nothing changed, so if nothing changes, that's going to be even. All right, next up here, number 23, I'll let you guys do on your own. Just finding the vertex, because it's a maximization problem, so we want the maximum. 24, we want the average rate of change, so that is the slope. And so I do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now it does give me my x values here, so I'm going to put those on bottom. 1999 minus 1989. Above them, I'm going to grab their y values from the table. And then you would just continue evaluating that. All right, next up here we have an equation asks for the max height. And so for that, we're just looking for the vertex. So you're just going to find the vertex. All right, x and y intercepts here. The y-intercepts, I'm just going to plug in 0 into the function. You can't just look at the back number here because it's not in standard form. So this would be negative 4 times 2 squared, so negative 4 times 4. Negative 16 plus 11 would be negative 5. And then for the x-intercepts, I turn y into 0. And then I'm just going to isolate x here, so I'm going to subtract the 11. So negative 11 equals negative 4 times x plus 2 squared. And then we'll divide that by negative 4. So 11 over 4 equals x plus 2 squared. And we'll square root both sides. Now I need a plus or minus here since I created it. I don't know the square root of 11, but I do know the square root of 4 is just 2. So I'm going to write that as just a regular 2. And lastly, I'm going to subtract 2 here. And then I'm going to do a common denominator. So this is actually going to turn into 4 over 2. So I have negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 11 all over 2 for my x-intercepts. And then this one's my y-intercept. And this one's my x-intercept. Both of them. All right, next one's here is domain and range. Now, the domain on any quadratic is negative infinity to infinity. But the range is really based on the vertex. So for the range, I need to find the vertex, specifically the y value. So I'm going to do negative b over 2a. So that's 4. And then y equals, let's see, 16 minus 32 plus 6. So be negative 16 plus 6 is negative 10. And so since this is an opening up parabola, I would say that it's from negative 10 to infinity for the range.